Thanks Ian, and good morning everyone. For those of you that haven't heard of Salmon, we're a global systems integrator. We specialise in online and multi-channel solutions. As well as retail, we also work in finance and insurance. Just to say, by way of introduction, we're not a platform vendor. We help customers choose and implement and support various platforms. We work with the likes of IBM, Microsoft, Omniture, Bazaar Voice, Scene7, and of course 10CMS, who are here today. We implement those technologies either on our own or in partnership with our customers' own in-house IT teams. We do an awful lot of work on a fixed price basis and can also offer outcome-based pricing. So our experience is in leading and being responsible for the end-to-end platform replacement projects and the ongoing support. We work with companies like these. So we design, we build, we integrate, we support online and multi-channel platforms for many of the leading retail and financial services companies. Companies like Argos, who've been a client of ours for 8 years last month, Boots, we developed support Boots.com, continue to enhance that, Halfords, Ensley in the insurance market, and at the smaller end of the scale, people like Kiddicare, who've won an awful lot of awards for their services. We can also provide a range of consultancy services, including advice on online and multi-channel strategy and how to trade your websites to increase sales. As a result of this, we spend an awful lot of time discussing what retailers want from their platforms, advising them on their options, understanding the issues they have with some of the particularly mid-market solutions, and running projects to replace underperforming platforms. This might sound an odd thing to say, given that you're all here to a session entitled eCommerce Platforms, but here goes. E-commerce is dead. E-commerce was invented to distinguish it from other kinds of commerce, for example, high street shops or call centre ordering. However, everything is E nowadays. E is just a normal part of life, and therefore the E has become redundant. The way we shop, the way we interact with friends, the way we consume music, photos, media, they're all E. Just like to have a little show of hands before I make a quote. Who's heard of Douglas Adams? Good, okay. For those of you who haven't, I think there was a small number who hadn't. Douglas Adams was a writer, sadly died in 2001, but he is most famous for writing originally the radio series called Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and subsequently a number of novels. So to quote Douglas Adams, and coincidentally, the quote is from a book called The Salmon of Doubt, but there's no relation to this salmon, so that's just a coincidence. So Douglas Adams said, "Anything that is in the world when you're born is normal and ordinary, and is just a natural part of the way the world works. Anything that's been invented between when you're 15 and 35 is new and exciting and revolutionary, and you can probably get a career in it. This means that for the current generation of teenagers, things like the internet, mobile phones, they're just a normal part of their world. So we should stop referring to e-commerce as if it was something new or different or revolutionary. All commerce is now E in some way or another, so let's just call it commerce." So if e-commerce is dead, what are the trends affecting retail commerce and therefore your choice of commerce platforms? There are 3 key trends that I'd like to cover briefly. Firstly, multi-channel commerce. The continuing proliferation of channels. Web, catalogue, call centre, branded websites, kiosks, smartphones, or stores, price comparison sites, affiliates and social networking sites, etc. Whilst this trend is perhaps most obvious with bricks and mortar retailers, businesses who were previously online only are increasingly offering their customers additional channels to support the shopping process. For example, pop-up stores and digital magazines. Next, cross-channel commerce, which is about the seamless customer experience. customers being able to use their preferred choice of method for the various stages of the shopping process. For example, research, select, purchase, receive, service and return. Here's an example of one possible combination. However, the combination of all these multiple channels and the multiple stages of the shopping process leads to about 1,500 of these possible options, and the subsequent huge complexity for retailers trying to support these type of options. So the challenge for retailers is offering this seamless customer experience with a joined up and consistent solution. Lastly, on the trends, new business models and technologies are continuing to disrupt the retail environment and represent in many ways a bigger threat than traditional competitors. All of these companies created new business models in their time. In terms of eBay, on the slide there is a new business model in the 1990s, mid-1990s, but they've moved an awful long way from their original business model. Now about 56% of their sales are fixed price rather than the traditional auction model. They're developing their own ranges. You've probably seen that news that they've teamed up with the US fashion designer Narciso Rodriguez to launch a capsule collection exclusively on the eBay site. eBay has also become, I think Ian, you alluded to it earlier, a very important channel for some major retailers' online outlet and discount sales. Of course, there are many, many examples of new technologies. With time constraints, I've picked out just two. First trend is the atomization of data, which has led to the democratization of information. Information that was previously hidden away inside corporations is now available to everyone. Some of you may have seen an application called Red Laser, which allows customers to scan a product barcode with their smartphone and find prices via various retailers. I think it uses Google search and the find search to find retailers with that product. One of our clients refers to this endearingly as digital shoplifting. So whilst this can be seen as a threat for retailers, I think those companies that can really embrace this, it's actually an opportunity. As a second example, increasing number of location-based services. One example come across recently is Cisco's Mobile Concierge. What this does is it uses a customer's wireless mobile smartphone as the device that connects to the retailer's customer-facing services portal or mobile concierge. Once there, the customer can access a variety of different services, including electronic coupons, promotional offers, customer loyalty data, product locators, and store maps. The biggest benefits of this service are that the customer gets the data that they want on their terms, the retailer doesn't have to invest into the end user equipment, and much of the data that a retailer needs to get started is already available on either their e-commerce website or the in-store kiosk applications.